So Chinese New Year is just around the corner, so I thought it would be the perfect time to make some dumplings. You may know these as pan fried dumplings or simply just pot stickers. Whatever you call them, they're delicious and really good fun to make, especially as a group with friends and family. It's Isaac and welcome back to the channel. Let's get cooking. Okay, so we'll start off with the dumpling skin first because the dough does take some time to rest. In the mixing bowl, put in some plain flour and add in some hot water. Next, knead this together for about 10 minutes. I do recommend using the stand mixer with a dough hook if you have one. It just saves you a lot of work. But of course you are welcome to do this by hand as well, but be prepared for a little bit of a workout. Now you may be wondering why we're using hot water instead of cold. To be honest, both works. The only real difference with cold water is that it allows more gluten to develop for a stronger and stretchier skin, which is great for boiled dumplings. But for pot stickers, we don't really need that. Right, after about 10 minutes or so, the dough should come together just like this and not stick to the side. At this point, wrap it up in cling film and give it about 30 minutes to rest at room temperature, just to let the gluten relax so we can roll it out easier later on. In the meantime, let's move on to the filling. So, I'm using some minced pork with about 20% fat today. You can also make your own using pork belly or even some other meats like chicken or beef as well. Just remember not to go too lean because otherwise the filling will be very hard and dry. The first thing is to give the mince a good mix with a pinch of salt. This is just to remove the lumpy texture in the filling. Stir in one direction, either with a fork or with your hands for a couple of minutes until it starts to have a more paste-like consistency, just like this. At this point we can add our seasoning and veggies. For my version, I'm dicing up some Chinese leaves, rehydrated shiitake mushrooms and ginger. When it comes to filling, every region of China and every family will have their own take on it, so don't worry if you don't have the exact same ingredients. Before we mix in the veggies, I'm also going to add some porridge oats into the filling. I know it's a little bit strange, but it's something that my mum taught me and it helps soften up the filling and stop it from becoming too hard like a meatball. To that, I'm going to add the usual soy sauce, sugar, black pepper, rice wine and sesame oil. Finish off with about 100 ml of water and give it a good mix. Once fully combined, throw in the rest of your veggies, mix it again, and we're done. Now, at this point, the dough should be well rested and ready to be rolled out. With this recipe, we should be able to make about 32 dumplings, and the best way I found to portion out the dough is to keep on halving it. So, roll out the dough like a long log. If it starts to stick, just dust the surface with some plain flour. Cut the dough right down the middle and wrap half of it away for now. This will stop it from drying out whilst we work on the first batch. With the remaining dough, just keep on halving it until you get 16 little pieces. Lightly dust the little pieces of dough again to stop them from sticking. The next bit can be a little bit tricky, but it's fun, I promise. Using the fleshy part of your palms, push down on the cut side of each dough to squash it into little small discs. Just a gentle press will do here. The goal here is to get it roughly in the circular shape so we can start rolling. So once you're done, we're ready to roll. The smaller the rolling pin, the better. But if you do only have a normal size one, that will work too. Just go a little bit slower so you have more control. The important thing here is to roll with one hand and control the rotation of the dough with the other. Here's what I mean. Start off by rolling towards the centre of the dough and then reverse the motion back off the dough as you reach the middle. Now rotate the dough a quarter turn and repeat the rolling motion again. Keep on doing this until you've gone twice round or when the dumpling skin is about 8 cm across. In my case, this is just about the size of my palm. This will take a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get it, you'll be flying. So go slow at the beginning and practice makes perfect. Here it is again from a different angle so you can see what it looks like. Once all the skins have been rolled out, we can get wrapping. Now, there are many ways to do this, so be as creative as you want. I'm going to stick to the basics for now, otherwise this video will be far too long, so here goes. Put a dumpling skin on the palm of your hand and scoop about 1 teaspoonful of filling into it. Flatten it out a little so it fills the dumpling evenly. Now, using the other hand, fold the dumpling in half until the skin touches the other side and pinch it together. Next, using the other hand to create little folds on one side of the dumpling and pinch to create pleats just like this. I usually do about 3 or 4 of them on each side. The more you do, the more crescent shape you'll get with the dumpling. Once you're done with both sides, the dumpling should be fully sealed and looking pretty just like this one. There's also a lazier and quicker way to do this. Start off like we did with the other one by putting some filling onto the skin, but instead of making neat little folds to make the pleats, I'm just going to wrap my index finger and my thumb around the edge of the skin and squeeze. I have to admit, it doesn't look quite as good as the other one, but it's much easier and much quicker, and it tastes just as good. As I said, wrap them however you want and be creative. I can do another video on different styles of wrapping and dumpling folds, so let me know down in the comments, but for now, let's get these dumplings cooking. Heat some oil in a pan over a medium heat for a few minutes. Once the oil is hot, drop your dumplings in, the flat side down, and let them fry for 3 minutes or so. The bottom should be golden brown just like this. At this point, we can pour in some water, just enough to cover about a third of the dumpling, and then put the lid on. And let it steam and cook for about 6 minutes, at which point all the water should have evaporated, leaving the dumplings nice and crispy. Now, to finish it off, to go with the dumplings, I'm going to make a dip, and it's super simple. Just mix together some rice vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, and chili oil. Wonderful. So that's it, dumplings from scratch. Perfect for any occasions, but especially for this cold weather and Chinese New Year. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Any questions, just let me know down below in the comments, but that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.